Chosen one, listen carefully. Heaven is not playing games with you. This is not coincidence, this is divine timing. The world may call it Friday, but heaven calls it Fulfillment Day. You are standing on the threshold of something bigger than your imagination can contain. The countdown has already begun. Every moment between now and sunrise carries the vibration of destiny. You have felt it, haven't you? That strange stirring in your soul, the sleepless nights, the sudden awareness that something in the unseen is moving. That's not anxiety, it's awakening. Heaven has been whispering, prepare yourself. Chosen one, your appointed time approaches, and you are not scrolling here by accident. You are being summoned by divine instruction. Every hardship has been a rehearsal for glory. Every betrayal was training your discernment. Every closed door was not rejection. It was divine preservation. You see, if the wrong people had celebrated you too early, they would have tried to control what God meant to crown. So he hid you, he covered you, and now, he's about to uncover you in a way no one can deny. You thought the waiting was wasted time, but it was holy preparation. The delay was the disguise of divine perfection. The silence was strategy. Heaven never wastes silence. He uses it to shape strength in secret. You've been growing while no one was watching, and now, heaven says you are ready. The weight of what's coming this Friday requires endurance, maturity, and humility. You've passed tests others never even recognized. You've walked through storms meant to break you, and still you're standing scarred but stronger. That's why the next chapter begins now. You've endured nights that felt endless, yet you never stopped praying. You fought unseen battles with tears as your only weapon, but heaven counted every drop. Now those hidden moments of endurance are speaking louder than your words. The soil of your suffering has become the fertile ground where your miracle will rise. You may not feel ready, but readiness isn't measured by confidence, it's proven by surrender. God isn't seeking perfection, he's seeking yielded hearts. And because you kept saying yes even through pain, heaven has marked you for release. The weight that once crushed you will now crown you. Friday will prove it. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain in season and bless all your work." Chosen one, this is your season. Heaven's storehouse is unlocking above you. The divine rain that others only dream about is about to fall on your life. That's why the resistance intensified. It's the last push before the downpour. Listen closely on this coming Friday. Something divine aligns in the spirit. A prophetic gate opens. What was held up is being released. Heaven has already scheduled a moment where favor, opportunity, and grace intersect with your obedience. When it happens, you will not have to force it, it will flow. Don't let fear steal your focus. The enemy will whisper distractions, stirring doubt and confusion, hoping you'll miss your moment. But you will not. You've come too far, endured too much, and grown too deep to miss what's already written in your destiny. This Friday is more than a date, it's a divine appointment. A conversation will happen, a door will open, a confirmation will arrive. You will feel the shift in your spirit before you even see it in the natural. Heaven will make sure you know it's him. Beloved, this is your moment to stand still and trust. Stop overanalyzing how it will happen. God is not asking you to perform. He's asking you to believe. The promise is not activated by effort, but by expectation. Keep your faith alive until Friday dawns, and watch how suddenly everything changes. Now, hear this in your spirit. Your breakthrough is not coming from a stranger, it's coming from the same place your pain came from. The very ground that caused your tears will yield your harvest. The very space that tried to bury you will become the platform that reveals you. When the blessing comes, don't hide it. Don't apologize for it. You've paid a price in private. Now heaven is preparing to repay you in public. The reward will not be random. It will be recognizable. People will say, "Only God could have done that." This is your confirmation. You're not late, you're aligned. You're not overlooked, you're anointed. And you're not forgotten, you're favored. If this message stirs your soul, don't just feel it, seal it. Like this message, share it with someone who's been waiting for their own Friday miracle. And subscribe to stay connected to the flow of prophetic words sent for the chosen ones. And as an act of faith, comment 777 below to declare, "I am ready for divine completion." The countdown has begun, and heaven is watching to see your response. This Friday, you will not miss your moment. Chosen one, now that you have heard heaven's whisper about your appointed Friday, it's time to understand what has been happening behind the scenes. Nothing in your journey has been wasted, not the pain, not the waiting, not even the silence. Every trial was secretly preparing you for what heaven is about to unveil. You didn't know it, but while you were crying in secret, angels were recording every tear. The unseen world has watched you grow, stumble, rise, and keep walking when others would have surrendered. You may have thought you were being punished, but you were being prepared. God doesn't choose the polished, He perfects the willing. The silent seasons were sacred classrooms. God was teaching you endurance without applause, teaching you faith when no miracle was visible, teaching you obedience when it made no sense. Every heartbreak, every delay, every unanswered prayer was a divine exercise building your spiritual muscles. You were not being buried, you were being planted. Think about it, chosen one. A seed must disappear underground before it ever blossoms in the light. That moment of darkness, that suffocating stillness, is where transformation begins. What looked like endings were actually beginnings in disguise. You were hidden because heaven was growing something eternal within you. You wondered why it had to hurt so much, why some people walked away, why doors kept closing just when you thought you were ready. But now you see it. God was shielding you from connections that would have corrupted your calling. He allowed certain betrayals so that you could learn the difference between loyalty and access. Every delay purified your motive. Every disappointment refined your faith. Every setback built the unshakable trust you'll need to carry what's coming next. Because the blessing on the way is not ordinary, it's weighty. And the weight of glory requires strength that only testing can build. In heaven's design, nothing is random. Every season has a reason, even when reason hides behind mystery. You cried out for deliverance, but God gave you development. You asked for signs, and He gave you silence. You wanted to move, but He told you to stand still. Why? Because the promise must be planted in patience before it blooms in purpose. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 4. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. You see, perseverance is not punishment. It's the proof that you are chosen. The very pressure that others ran from became your training ground. You've been in spiritual boot camp, learning how to fight unseen wars with praise instead of panic, with prayer instead of fear. That's why demons tremble when you rise in the morning. They know you've been forged by fire. Chosen one, you are not the same as you were last year. You have changed in ways heaven celebrates. You walk differently, you discern quicker, you forgive faster, and you no longer need validation to believe you are valuable. You've learned to let go gracefully and to trust God completely. There were nights when you asked, "Lord, have you forgotten me?" But heaven was closer than your breath. In your stillness, God was rewriting your story. You didn't realize it, but every unanswered prayer was an answered protection. Every no was a not yet. And now, the timing is almost complete. That's why you feel that holy stirring again, the sense that something is moving, that something new is near. Heaven doesn't alert you without intention. The wind of change always precedes manifestation. You're standing on sacred soil right now, though it may still look ordinary to human eyes. Chosen one. The divine pattern is always the same: separation before elevation. You were pulled away from certain circles, not because you were unworthy, but because your destiny demanded isolation. Diamonds are not shaped in crowds, they are formed in pressure and darkness. What God is forming in you carries eternal weight. It will influence lives, shift atmospheres, and awaken others to their own calling. That's why your warfare has been so intense. The enemy doesn't waste energy on empty vessels. The greater your opposition, the greater your anointing. You might still feel fragments of your old pain trying to whisper lies. Maybe it's too late, or maybe you missed it. But those voices are echoes of the past. Heaven has already silenced your shame. The only thing standing between you and divine fulfillment is your belief in what God already spoke. Remember this truth: preparation is proof of promise. You've been faithful when no one clapped. You've prayed when no one noticed. You've sown when the soil seemed barren. And soon, heaven will honor every unseen sacrifice. So walk boldly into this week. The quiet days are ending. What you endured in secret will soon shine in public testimony. The same hands that held you through the fire are now positioning you for recognition, not for your glory, but for His. Chosen one, listen closely. You've come through fire, and yet your faith still breathes. You've faced storms that should have drowned your hope, but here you are, still standing, still believing, still waiting for the promise to unfold. The silence of God did not mean His absence. It meant His hand was crafting something sacred behind the veil. Every delay, every disappointment, every closed door was heaven's gentle way of saying, "Not yet, my child," because timing matters to eternity. God's blessings are not late, they are layered. Each season adds another dimension of strength, wisdom, and purity, so that when you finally receive what's meant for you, it doesn't break you, it builds you. You've been walking through the shadows, but don't mistake the darkness for defeat. Shadows only appear when light is near. That flicker you feel inside, the quiet pull to hold on just a little longer, is heaven's signal that your story is about to turn. God never wastes pain, He transforms it into purpose. There were moments you thought you'd lost everything: friends, confidence, even hope. But look again. What was lost made room for what's coming. What left created the space necessary for the divine to arrive. Sometimes subtraction is heaven's way of adding value to your destiny. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it linger, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." Chosen one. This verse is your mirror. You've been carrying a vision that feels too heavy to hold, a promise that seems too far to reach. But heaven says, it will come. Not by your effort, not by human intervention, but by divine orchestration. The delay is not denial, it's divine choreography. You see, every promise from heaven moves through 3 stages: spoken, hidden, and manifested. You are standing in the hidden stage right now, the tension between prophecy and fulfillment. This is where many give up, but not you. Your endurance has already become your evidence. Heaven is watching the way you wait. You have chosen faith over frustration, patience over panic. And because of that, the spiritual gates are beginning to shift. Angels are aligning circumstances. Hearts are being softened, and what was once distant is drawing near. The sound of breakthrough is echoing in the unseen. You might not feel movement, but movement is happening. You might not see proof, but heaven is arranging divine encounters, conversations that change everything, opportunities that arrive unexpectedly, favor that doesn't make sense. The invisible hand of God is writing your next chapter while the world thinks your story is finished. Chosen one. The waiting room is not a prison, it's a palace in progress. God is shaping your character so that when the promise knocks, you'll have the wisdom to sustain it. Too many receive blessings they're not ready to carry, but you're being prepared to reign, not just receive. Every tear has watered the soil of your destiny. Every prayer has built the foundation for your miracle. You've learned what most never do, that God's silence often carries the loudest message, trust me. And soon, that trust will speak louder than words. The moment will arrive when everything aligns: people, timing, opportunity, and you'll look back and realize every delay was mercy, every setback was strategy, every detour was direction. When that day comes, you will not question why it took so long. You'll thank God it didn't come sooner. Because now, you are not the same. You are wiser, purer, stronger. You are not just waiting for the promise, you have become the vessel that can hold it. Chosen one. Take this as your sign to keep standing in faith. Don't lower your expectations to fit your circumstances. Raise your faith to match His word. Heaven is about to deliver what's already written. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, I want you to comment, "I hear you." Say it not as a ritual, but as a declaration that you recognize the voice of God in this moment. When you type those words, you're not just engaging, you're aligning. You're telling heaven, "I hear, I believe, and I'm ready to receive." Don't underestimate what a small act of faith can trigger. Every declaration you release echoes in eternity. Every word of agreement becomes a seed in the spiritual soil. When you comment those words, it's as though you're building an altar of obedience, saying, "Lord, I trust you even when I can't trace you." You are standing on the edge of manifestation. Chosen one. The wait was worth it. The pain had purpose. And soon, you will see what heaven saw all along, that you were never forsaken, only being fashioned. So breathe deeply. Stand tall. Keep your heart pure and your spirit expectant. Because when Friday dawns, it will not come quietly, it will arrive with evidence, clarity, and reward. Heaven is faithful to finish what it began in you. Chosen one, you have walked a long road of isolation. But heaven wants you to understand what looked like abandonment was actually separation for elevation. You were not left out, you were set apart. God had to pull you away from certain people, places, and patterns so you could hear His voice without interference. You once wondered why the conversations you used to enjoy suddenly drained you, why relationships you thought would last forever dissolved like mist. It wasn't betrayal, it was divine extraction. God removes what cannot go where He's taking you. He will not let you be attached to anyone or anything that could sabotage your destiny. Separation feels painful because your heart still remembers the familiar, but destiny demands courage to let go. You can't carry old weights into a new season. The version of you that heaven is calling forth must travel light, free from resentment, fear, and the need to be understood. Chosen one, it's time to accept that not everyone was meant to recognize your anointing. Some were only sent to test your discernment. When God starts promoting you, He exposes motives. The ones who truly loved you in private will remain. The ones who were attached to your potential will disappear. Both are necessary for your purification. You are stepping into a sacred transition. The wilderness you once despised has become your womb of wisdom. You learn to depend not on crowds, but on communion. You discovered that peace is more valuable than attention. What others called loneliness was actually your consecration. Remember, divine separation is never punishment, it's preparation. God isolates his instruments before he amplifies their influence. Moses had 40 years in the desert. David had years in caves. Even Jesus withdrew to pray before revealing his glory. If heaven required solitude from them, why would it spare you? The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus. Chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness, that is the lesson of this season. You are not called to chase validation or defend your worth. Heaven fights for the silent and the steadfast. The energy you once wasted proving yourself is now being redirected toward purpose. When God vindicates you, no explanation is needed. Your results will speak louder than any rumor. Chosen one. Stop trying to reopen doors that God has sealed. Stop rereading chapters that heaven has already closed. You cannot step into prophecy while holding on to the past. There is a reason peace left those environments. It was heaven's way of saying, your time here is over. You are learning that holiness is not about isolation for pride's sake, but about alignment for purpose's sake. When God calls you apart, he's not rejecting the world, he's redeeming your focus. The silence of solitude becomes the soundstage for revelation. You start hearing what others cannot because you dared to step away from the noise. Some days you might miss the laughter, the companionship, the comfort of being surrounded. But remember, heaven fills every empty space with glory. The friendships that faded will be replaced by divine partnerships. The voids in your heart will become vessels for wisdom. You will not end up alone. You will end up aligned. Chosen one. This separation is not just geographical or relational, it's spiritual. God is separating light from darkness within you, the old fears, the old habits, the self-doubt. Every layer being peeled back is making room for the fullness of his presence. You are being redefined, remade, and re-anchored in truth. The loneliness you feel is temporary, but the strength you're gaining is eternal. The same isolation that broke you will soon become your testimony. You'll look back and realize that the people who left were never meant to witness your unveiling. Heaven hides its treasures until the appointed time, and you, beloved, are one of them. Don't rush this season. Don't despise the quiet. Transformation takes time, and refinement requires rest. You can't rush the fire that purifies gold, nor can you hurry the sunrise after the night. The promise is not far away, it's forming within you. Chosen one, as you remain still, heaven is fighting unseen battles on your behalf. The very forces that tried to suffocate you will now serve as evidence of your victory. The walls that confined you are becoming the witness of your rebirth. You are stepping into a divine unveiling where peace, authority, and favor collide. You may feel alone, but you are not abandoned. The Father's eyes have never left you. The same voice that called you apart will call you forth. This is your season of silent strength where stillness becomes your weapon and solitude your sanctuary. When the world wonders where you went, heaven will declare where you're going. The isolation that broke your heart will soon prove to have been the cocoon of your calling. And when Friday dawns, the one who once wept in secret will emerge radiant, refined, and ready to reign. Chosen one, do you feel that gentle stirring in your spirit, the quiet realization that everything you endured wasn't in vain? Heaven is leaning close to you now, whispering a truth few ever grasp. Obedience is the doorway to overflow. You've walked through valleys, crossed deserts, and survived storms not meant to destroy you, but to deliver you into divine maturity. You have been tested not in grand gestures, but in quiet decisions, the ones no one saw. The moments you chose kindness over revenge, faith over fear, prayer over panic, heaven noticed. God saw you choosing obedience even when your heart was breaking. Those choices became invisible altars, and now heaven is ready to send fire upon them. Obedience is not about control, it's about alignment. When a seed obeys the law of the soil, it bursts into life. When a river obeys gravity, it carves valleys of beauty. So when you, chosen one, obey the divine voice even when you don't understand, you create a path for miracles to flow freely. This is the season where your faith meets fruitfulness. You've been faithful in the shadows. Now heaven says, step into the light. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 4, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. That verse is not about chasing blessings. It's about becoming one with the blesser. When your heart beats in rhythm with his will, even your desires begin to transform. What once felt impossible suddenly feels inevitable, because heaven always funds what it initiates. Beloved, obedience has opened doors that striving never could. You didn't climb the ladder, you were lifted by grace, and soon, those who doubted you will witness what it means to walk under divine favor. But before that moment arrives, there's a sacred instruction: remain generous in spirit. Generosity isn't just about money, it's about motion. It's the motion of your heart toward heaven's rhythm. Every time you give, whether it's time, kindness, prayer, or provision, you become a living echo of God's nature. The hand that gives never stays empty, because the law of heaven is circulation. Think of yourself as a divine vessel. Water only grows stagnant when it stops flowing. Your obedience keeps the river of blessing moving through you, not just to you. When you share light, heaven multiplies it. When you bless others, heaven blesses you more, not to build your ego, but to expand your reach. Chosen one, if this message has touched your spirit, I want you to do something not out of obligation, but out of overflow. Support the message that supports you, like this word as a prophetic act of agreement. Share it as a seed of encouragement for someone else's faith. And if you feel led, give whatever amount heaven places in your heart to help this river keep flowing. When you do, you're not just donating, you're watering the same soil that's feeding your spirit. Every seed you plant helps carry light into the dark corners of the world. This is how we join heaven's work together, through love in action. You see, the gospel of hope must travel beyond you. Somewhere, another chosen one is sitting in silence, praying for a sign, scrolling through shadows until your share becomes their confirmation. You might never meet them, but heaven will record your obedience. The ripple of one act of generosity can reach shores you'll never see. Think of the widow who gave her last coin not out of abundance, but out of trust. Think of the boy who offered his small lunch and watched it feed thousands. Every offering becomes miraculous when it's placed in divine hands. Your giving of love, of prayer, of support turns ordinary moments into eternal testimonies. Chosen one, heaven is teaching you the art of sacred exchange. What you release multiplies. When you hold too tightly, things wither. But when you open your hands, heaven fills them again and again. You are not called to live in fear of lack. You are called to overflow in faith. The fruit of obedience is peace. The fragrance of generosity is joy, and the reward of faithfulness is favor. These are the currencies of heaven, and you've been walking in all three without even realizing it. So today, honor what God is building through your life. Let your gratitude become action, like the candle that gives light without losing its flame. Let your love illuminate others. Share the fire, and heaven will make sure your flame never fades. And as you continue to walk this path, stay connected to this voice that reminds you of who you are. Subscribe if you haven't yet, not to follow a person, but to stay aligned with the divine flow of truth, encouragement, and revelation meant for the chosen ones. This is more than content, it's communion. Your obedience is unlocking abundance. Your generosity is activating heaven's economy. And your faith is opening doors you didn't even know existed. Chosen one, you have felt it building the momentum of something divine, gathering strength in the unseen. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, and your spirit has been sensing the nearness of fulfillment. Heaven is aligning everything, and Friday is not just a date, it's a divine signal, a prophetic crossing from waiting into walking. You may not realize it, but even your delays were synchronized with heavenly order. Every prayer, every sigh, every moment of surrender has been recorded in eternity's timeline. You didn't miss your season. You've been moving at heaven's rhythm all along. The promise wasn't postponed, it was being perfected. This is the section where heaven wants you to understand the significance of Friday. For many, it's just the end of the week. But in the language of the Spirit, Friday represents completion, rest, and revelation. It is the sixth day, the day humanity was formed, the day creation was crowned, the day God finished his masterpiece and declared, "It is good." Chosen one, that is exactly what heaven is about to declare over you. It is good. The work in you is reaching its completion. The pressure you've felt lately is not punishment. It's the final shaping of a masterpiece. Heaven is polishing your edges, refining your motives, and aligning your heart with divine order. This is why everything has felt more intense lately, the dreams, the warfare, the emotions. The closer you get to manifestation, the stronger the resistance becomes, but resistance is proof of progress. Pressure is confirmation of proximity. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This coming Friday represents more than opportunity. It represents alignment. There is a divine equation unfolding your preparation. Plu, heaven's timing, Saruvarburn manifestation. And when the clock strikes the appointed moment, everything that once resisted you will begin to cooperate with you. Favor will flow like a river breaking its dam. But remember this truth: heaven never releases what you are not ready to receive. That's why the testing has been intense. Every trial was shaping your character to match your calling. You cannot carry divine weight with human weakness. So God has been stretching you not to harm you, but to enlarge your capacity. You have been learning to live by faith, not sight. You've learned to trust without knowing outcomes, to praise without immediate results, to believe without visible evidence. That kind of faith terrifies the enemy. Because once your confidence shifts from circumstance to Christ, nothing can shake you again. Chosen one, in this hour, heaven is watching for your agreement. Your faith is the key that turns the lock. Your declaration is the sound that opens the gate. This is not the time for silence, it's the moment for prophetic participation. So right now, as a sign of your readiness, I want you to comment 444 below. That number represents open doors, divine order, and heavenly alignment. It is your symbolic act of faith, your way of saying, "Lord, I am in position. Let your will unfold in my life." When you type it, Don't treat it like a routine. See it as a covenant action. Numbers have meaning in the spiritual realm. They are heaven's mathematics of manifestation. 444 is a prophetic echo of completion and divine structure. As you declare it, you're stepping into rhythm with heaven's design. Now breathe deeply. Let your spirit settle into peace. You are not running toward blessing. Blessing is running toward you. The miracle that once seemed miles away is now footsteps away. The angels that were once dispatched have reached your coordinates. Chosen one. Everything is converging. The prayers of the past are meeting the faith of the present to birth the promise of the future. The very air around you is charged with expectancy. Even creation itself seems to hold its breath, waiting for your unveiling. Soon, the things that made no sense will come together in one revelation. You will look back and see that every pain had purpose. Every detour had direction. Every silence carried strategy. The plan of God was never delayed, it was deliberate. So hold your position, keep your faith steady. Friday will not pass you by unnoticed. It will arrive with divine confirmation. The moment your heart aligns fully with heaven's rhythm, the manifestation will be undeniable. And when it comes, you will not question how it will be clear that only God could have orchestrated it. You'll realize that the waiting wasn't wasted. It was the womb that birthed your miracle. Chosen one. Heaven smiles over you tonight. Your obedience has unlocked divine order. Your faith has opened ancient gates. And your declaration, your small, simple 444, has reached heaven's throne as a signal that you are ready for what's next. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit has felt heavier lately. The closer a destiny moment approaches, the greater the pressure becomes. It's the same law that governs childbirth before the promise is born. The contractions intensify. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is preparing to release something so significant that every part of your being must stretch to contain it. What's coming is not light, it's weighty. The blessing about to rest on your shoulders carries influence, authority, and glory. You are not simply receiving a reward, you are inheriting responsibility. That is why the fire has been hotter, the isolation deeper, the refining sharper. The greater the glory, the greater the preparation. You may feel tired, like your spirit has been climbing a mountain that never ends. But the peak is near. The same energy that tried to break you is now building the endurance you'll need to stand in higher places. The enemy knows he cannot steal your calling, so he's been trying to drain your strength. But he underestimated your resilience. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." These words are not just comfort, they are a royal invitation. Heaven is not calling you to keep striving. It's calling you to step into divine rest. Rest does not mean inactivity, it means inner stillness. The confidence that God is working even when you are not. Chosen one. God is about to place something heavy upon you, a mantle of influence, a weight of favor, a spiritual authority that cannot be faked or forged. It's the kind of glory that shifts atmospheres when you enter a room. But this kind of glory cannot dwell in the unprepared. That's why your process has been so intense. Heaven cannot entrust great power to fragile hearts. So God has been stripping you of false motives, burning away pride, and humbling your desires until only purity remains. You've been emptied so that you could be filled correctly. Every loss created space for a larger outpouring. Chosen one, do you remember those nights when you cried and said, "God, I can't take any more"? Heaven heard you. And instead of removing the fire, God strengthened your faith inside it. You learned that endurance isn't about escaping difficulty, it's about carrying peace through it. The flames that surrounded you didn't consume you, they consumed what could not go forward with you. Now, the refining is nearing completion. The weight of glory that once felt impossible will soon rest easily upon your shoulders. Because heaven never gives you more than grace can sustain. What's coming next will not feel like striving, it will feel like flow. You will move in divine rhythm, accomplishing in days what used to take years. This is the paradox of being chosen. Your greatest burden becomes your greatest blessing. The very thing that once made you weep will become the source of your anointing. Your scars will preach louder than your words. People will be drawn to the peace you carry, not realizing it was forged through warfare. Chosen one, this weight of glory cannot be imitated. It's not something you study or purchase, it's something you survive. It's the residue of every yes you gave God when it was hard, every prayer you whispered through tears, every act of obedience that cost you comfort. That is the oil that now drips from your life. Do not fear the responsibility attached to what's coming. Heaven is not burdening you, it's trusting you. God would not pour this level of glory into a vessel he could not depend on. The fact that he chose you means he has already equipped you. Grace is your armor, humility your anchor, and faith your fuel. The next phase of your journey will require balance. The same way a tree deepens its roots as its branches grow wide, you must remain grounded even as you rise. Glory without grounding becomes corruption. But you, chosen one, have learned to bow low before you rise high. That's why heaven can trust you with visibility. You will not worship it. When the mantle descends, it will not feel heavy. It will feel holy. You'll sense a new boldness in your spirit, a fresh authority in your words. It will not come from pride, but from purpose. People will notice, not because you announce it, but because heaven will make it evident. This is your weight of glory season. The refining was necessary so that you could carry it with grace. Do not mistake humility for weakness or silence for insignificance. The most powerful vessels are often the quietest. They don't need to prove they are chosen. Their very presence testifies. Soon, when the promise manifests, you'll realize that every sleepless night, every lonely prayer, every why that had no answer, all of it was heaven's classroom. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared to hold something divine. Chosen one, before every great unveiling. There comes a moment of holy tension, a thin line between wonder and warning. You stand there now, on sacred ground where discernment becomes your greatest weapon. The promise is near, yet so are distractions disguised as destiny. Heaven's light is shining on you, but shadows will always try to imitate the glow. This is the stage where your eyes must remain clear and your spirit alert. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every door that opens leads to purpose. Some doors are tests, beautifully painted traps meant to detour the chosen before the promise manifests. That's why discernment, not emotion, must guide you now. When the enemy knows he can't destroy you, he distracts you. He introduces counterfeit blessings that arrive right before the real one. These counterfeits look good, sound right, and feel urgent. They mimic divine timing, but lack divine peace. The enemy's strategy is subtle to exhaust your focus so you'll miss heaven's whisper. Chosen one, be vigilant. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the more confusion the enemy releases into your atmosphere. The warfare you're feeling right now isn't random. It's a signal that manifestation is near. Don't panic when chaos rises, interpret it. Every storm that surrounds you is revealing what cannot stay when the promise arrives. You must understand the enemy has no power over your destiny. but he will attempt to pollute your perception. If he can cloud your clarity, he can delay your decision. That's why you must hold fast to truth, even when emotions fluctuate. Discernment grows strongest in silence, not in noise. There's a reason heaven has been calling you to withdraw lately, to step back from certain conversations, to quiet your mind, to spend more time in solitude. It's because your spiritual sensitivity is being fine-tuned. What you're about to hear requires stillness. You cannot detect divine frequency in worldly volume. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, in chapter 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. These words are a compass for this season. Peace is your confirmation. Confusion, no matter how appealing the circumstance appears, is heaven's warning. If your spirit feels heavy when it should feel light, pause. God's promises carry weight, but never chaos. Chosen one. Every battle you've faced recently, the misunderstandings, the sudden doubts, the unexpected resistance, has one purpose: to distract you right before delivery. But the wiser you've become, the quieter you've grown. You no longer rush to defend yourself because you've learned that divine timing is its own vindication. You no longer chase after signs because you've discovered that the greatest sign is inner peace. Heaven is saying to you, now guard your focus. The promise is already forming in the spirit, but the final battle will be for your attention. The enemy doesn't need to defeat you. He only needs to divide you. A divided heart cannot carry a unified blessing. Think of the eagle, chosen one. When storms rise, it doesn't fight the wind, it uses it. It stretches its wings and allows the turbulence to lift it higher. That's what heaven is teaching you now, how to use opposition as elevation. Don't waste your energy fighting noise. Rise above it. You are entering the corridor of manifestation. Every distraction now carries greater consequence. Choose your words wisely. Protect your energy fiercely, and keep your circle small. Not everyone assigned to your past can accompany your future. Some were only meant to walk with you to the gate, not through it. Do not be surprised when people who once celebrated you become silent. Sometimes their silence is heaven's mercy. It keeps you humble, focused, and dependent on God alone. The less noise around you, the clearer you'll hear His instructions. Chosen one. Discernment will save you from unnecessary pain. The counterfeit always appears first because the enemy cannot create, only imitate. He will offer you shortcuts that appeal to impatience. But God's route, though longer, leads to lasting peace. Trust the divine delay. It's protection in disguise. You've matured too much to fall for old deceptions. You now know the difference between attraction and assignment. Not everything that glitters is glory. Your spirit will always recognize the genuine by one mark: peace that passes understanding. And so, even as the days grow shorter and the anticipation for Friday builds, stay grounded. The moment of manifestation will not come through anxiety or striving, but through stillness. You will feel it, a gentle knowing, a sacred calm, as though heaven itself has exhaled. The warning before the wonder is not to scare you, it's to prepare you. You've been entrusted with something eternal, and heaven refuses to let it be wasted on counterfeit paths. You are being sharpened for clarity so that when the real blessing arrives, you'll know without hesitation this is it. Chosen one. What has sustained you through this long road has not been luck or chance, it has been faith. Faith has been your unseen companion, your silent anchor when everything else was shaking. It was faith that carried you when logic said quit. It was faith that kept you believing when there was no visible reason to hope. Faith is not blind optimism, it is divine sight before manifestation. It is seeing the invisible and trusting that heaven's word outweighs the world's evidence. Every battle you've endured has been designed to strengthen that sight. You have been walking not by what your eyes could see, but by what your spirit could sense. Chosen one. That's why your warfare was personal. The enemy was never after your possessions, he was after your perception. If he could destroy your ability to believe, he could dismantle your destiny. But your faith refused to die. You might have bent, you might have broken in places, but you never stopped believing that God was still able. According to what is revealed in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is more than a verse, it's your testimony. You've lived this truth. You've stood in empty rooms and declared abundance. You've faced closed doors and still expected miracles. You've walked through valleys speaking life into silence. Heaven has recorded your faith. And now it is time for harvest. Faith is the currency of the kingdom. It is the only language heaven responds to. It doesn't need proof to believe, it believes until proof appears. When God sees faith, he sees alignment. And where there is alignment, miracles become inevitable. Chosen one, your faith has been the quiet earthquake shifting the ground beneath your feet. The reason doors are about to open is not because of your effort, it's because your belief created atmosphere. Faith rearranges realities. It builds bridges between prophecy and manifestation. It invites heaven to invade earth. But here is a truth many overlook: faith must be fed. Doubt is loud, fear is persuasive, but faith is a seed that grows only when nourished by action and word. When you speak life, when you pray even after disappointment, when you thank God before seeing results, you are watering that seed. You may have thought your prayers were small, your worship unnoticed, but in the spiritual realm they became thunder. Every whispered "I still believe" struck against the walls of delay until cracks began to form. Faith may move mountains, but before that, it shakes foundations. Chosen one, you have reached the threshold where faith transforms from waiting to walking. The door is already unlocking. Heaven is just waiting for your agreement. Do not measure your progress by what your eyes see. In the Spirit, the victory is already written. There will be moments in the coming days when fear tries to rise again. You'll hear old lies whisper nothing is changing. But remember, faith is not a feeling, it's a decision. Every time you choose to trust despite the noise, heaven moves on your behalf. Faith doesn't beg, it builds. Faith doesn't panic, it prepares. And that is exactly what you've been doing. Chosen one, preparing without proof. That's why heaven calls you trustworthy. Now I want you to seal this moment with a declaration. Comment "My faith stands." Write it as a vow between you and heaven. Those 3 words are simple, but they echo with power. When you type them, you're not just responding to a message, you're responding to destiny, though you're saying, no matter what happens, no matter what delays come, my faith will not bend. Understand this. Declarations in the natural realm activate movements in the spiritual realm. Angels respond to faith-filled words. When you declare "My faith stands," you are strengthening your atmosphere, silencing doubt, and positioning yourself for manifestation. It's a prophetic act, not for others to see, but for heaven to hear. Chosen one. Faith is not a bridge you cross once, it's a path you walk daily. Some days it's firm, other days it trembles beneath your feet, but you keep walking. Because you know that faith does not depend on circumstances, it depends on character, the unshakable nature of God himself. Your faith is about to be rewarded. The same God who tested it will now honor it. The door that refused to open will swing wide. Not because you knocked harder, but because your persistence moved heaven's heart. The miracle you've been expecting will not arrive because of your effort, but because of your endurance. Soon, you will realize that your faith was never wasted, it was invested. Every yes you gave God, every tear that carried trust, every prayer that sounded repetitive, all of it has compounded into divine momentum. You've built something eternal in the unseen realm, and now heaven is releasing returns. Chosen one, the future you've been believing for is already unfolding. Faith did not fail you. It formed you. And when you finally stand in the promise, you'll smile and say, "It was worth every moment I believed without seeing." Hold fast to this truth. Faith doesn't just move mountains, it teaches you how to stand tall when they don't move right away. And that, beloved, is where true strength is born. Chosen one, there is a sacred rhythm moving through your life right now, a divine pulse that beats in time with heaven's heart. It's more than coincidence, it's choreography. Every step you've taken, even the ones that seemed misdirected, have led you to this exact point. And now, as Friday approaches, heaven's hand is about to reveal the masterpiece hidden in your mess. You've walked through wildernesses others never saw. You've carried weights few could imagine. Yet somehow you didn't break, you became unbreakable. That strength was not built by comfort. It was sculpted through surrender. Every yes you whispered when no one was watching became a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." Think of a river, chosen one. When it flows freely, it stays alive. But when it's dammed, it stagnates. Giving is the motion that keeps the spiritual river pure. Every act of generosity, whether it's time, love, prayer, or provision, is a ripple that carries your faith further than your voice could ever reach. If this message has touched you, if it has stirred something deep within your soul, then consider becoming a part of its journey. Like the potter shaping clay, your support helps mold messages like these into vessels that reach hearts across the world. When you like, you acknowledge heaven's hand. When you share, you become heaven's messenger. When you subscribe, you join a family of light bearers walking in the same divine rhythm. And if your spirit feels led to give, know this: it's not a transaction, it's a transformation. Your gift is a seed. You plant it into spiritual soil and heaven breathes on it, multiplying it in ways beyond imagination. Just as a single candle can ignite 1,000 others without losing its flame, your giving lights paths you may never walk. The stories that will be born from your generosity will echo long after you. Somewhere, another weary soul will hear a message that brings them back to life because you kept the flame alive. That's what giving does, it keeps the gospel moving. Chosen one. Think of Noah. He built when no one believed. Think of the widow of Zarephath. She gave when she had almost nothing. Think of the boy with the loaves and fish. His small act of offering fed thousands. Heaven multiplies what the heart releases in faith. This ministry, this flow of divine messages, is more than sound, it's seed. And the soil is ready. You are part of that harvest, whether through prayer, encouragement, or support. Nothing you give to God's purpose ever vanishes. It circulates through eternity, returning in forms you couldn't predict: peace, protection, provision, and people who will one day pour back into you. But listen, this isn't about pressure. Heaven doesn't demand, it invites. Just as the rain does not beg the ground to receive it, giving is natural to hearts aligned with purpose. You give because you remember what it feels like to be found. You sow because you know what it means to be fed by grace. So if your spirit feels that gentle nudge, respond with sincerity. Like this message as a mark of agreement, share it as a ripple of hope to someone waiting for their own word. Subscribe to stay under the covering of divine flow. And if God places it in your heart, plant a seed that ensures this light keeps shining. Chosen one, never forget you are part of a living story. Every time you give, you are writing a line in heaven's script. Every act of faith, no matter how small, becomes a verse in someone else's redemption song. You may never know their name, but heaven will whisper yours. You are not funding a message, you are fueling a movement. You are not donating to content, you are investing in eternity. This isn't about numbers, it's about names, souls touched, lives lifted, hearts awakened. That is what your obedience sustains. And one day, when you stand in the presence of the one who called you, you will hear him say, "Every word you helped release, every light you helped ignite, I saw it all." Chosen one, let your generosity flow like the sunrise, quiet but unstoppable, warm but powerful. Because light that is shared never fades, it multiplies. And as you pour out, heaven will pour in, pressed down, shaken together and running over. You have been faithful with little, and soon you'll be entrusted with much. The seeds you plant today will become trees of testimony tomorrow. So let your heart stay open, your spirit generous, and your life an offering of gratitude. Chosen one, the unseen realm has always been closer than you imagined. Even when you felt alone, unseen, unheard, heaven was surrounding you, watching, intervening. The things you called coincidence were, in truth, choreography. Every delay, every closed door, every near miss was a moment when unseen hands shielded you from premature exposure. You have walked through battles that never reached human eyes. You have felt sudden peace in nights that should have crushed you. That peace was the whisper of angels. They are not distant figures from forgotten scriptures. They are messengers of mercy, assigned to walk beside the chosen. Their task has never been to make life easy, but to make your path sure. It was proclaimed in the second book of Kings, chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. That same covering surrounds you, chosen one. The hills of your own life are filled with unseen fire. When darkness encroaches, you are never outnumbered. When despair whispers, you are never without backup. Heaven does not assign angels to comfort the complacent, it sends them to guard the obedient. Perhaps you wonder why you rarely see them. The truth is, their invisibility is their mercy. Were you to glimpse their glory every moment, you would forget your humanity. They guard quietly because your growth requires faith, not constant proof. Their presence is the hum beneath your heartbeat, the warmth that steadies you when fear approaches. There were times when accidents missed you by seconds, when messages came at the perfect hour, when your intuition shouted, "Turn here," and you did. None of it was random. Heaven's army coordinated every detail. Angels rerouted danger, delayed meetings, even used strangers to deliver divine interruptions. You've been living inside miracles disguised as ordinary timing. Chosen one. Understand this angelic assistance is not only protection, it's participation. They don't just defend, they deliver. They carry answers to prayers, open unseen doors, influence human hearts. Many of the opportunities that have found you were carried on invisible wings. Every unexpected blessing had wings attached. When you pray, your words do not vanish into the ceiling. They travel like arrows into the spiritual realm, and angels move at the sound of obedience. Heaven responds to faith, not volume. Even your quiet prayers whispered through tears. became commands in the invisible world. You are living proof that divine defense is active. Remember the moments when exhaustion nearly consumed you, when you didn't have strength to continue, yet somehow you kept going. That somehow was someone, an unseen messenger holding your spirit upright. Angels are not sentimental, they are strategic. They don't follow feelings, they follow faith. That is why some seasons felt so heavy you were being strengthened to partner with them. God never sends angelic assistance where faith is absent. When you stand firm in belief, heaven deploys reinforcement. Chosen one, the enemy has studied your weaknesses, but heaven has stationed watchers at every vulnerable point. They stand guard at the borders of your destiny, ensuring that no counterfeit promise crosses the line. When spiritual warfare intensifies, it is often because angelic forces are clearing out interference. The chaos you feel on earth reflects the clash in the heavens, but remember, victory is predetermined. Sometimes you will sense them before you see results, a sudden calm in the middle of crisis, a quiet assurance that refuses to fade. Those moments are confirmations you are covered. The unseen is working harder than the visible, and when you step into new territory, they move ahead of you. They prepare the soil of opportunity, soften hearts, and silence threats. You will never enter a room unguarded again. The divine escort assigned to you has already memorized every trap, every pit, every scheme. This is why you can rest, even when uncertainty surrounds you. You are not moving through life unsupported. Heaven's infrastructure holds you. The angels assigned to your lineage have carried victories from generations before you. You walk with ancestral promises reinforced by celestial power. Chosen one. Let this revelation settle your soul. Help has always been nearer than breath. You do not need to summon angels, they respond to alignment. When your heart beats in harmony with heaven's rhythm, they know their cue. Obedience sounds like music to them, and at that sound, they move. You have entered a phase where assistance will become visible through results. Doors that refuse to open will suddenly yield. People you never met will act in your favor. Paths you didn't plan will lead directly into purpose. These are not coincidences, they are signatures of divine intervention. So walk calmly, fear less. Speak with authority, knowing you are never outnumbered. The hills of your destiny burn with chariots of fire, and every spark declares the chosen are not alone. Chosen one, there is power in your words more than you realize. Heaven listens when you speak, because your voice carries the signature of divine assignment. What you declare in faith becomes architecture in the spirit. Your words are blueprints for the future God is building through you. For too long, you've used your voice merely to describe what you see. But now, heaven calls you to declare what you believe. You are stepping into a season where silence is no longer safety, it's surrender. The spiritual realm is activated by sound, and heaven is waiting for yours. You have been refined, stretched, and taught. You've learned to discern voices, to trust peace, to carry weight with grace. But now, the next step requires your voice, your declaration. Heaven's promises are seeds. Your words are the rain that make them grow. As the prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 41. And Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain." Elijah heard the rain before it fell. That is the essence of prophetic declaration, speaking what heaven has whispered, even when the sky still looks empty. Chosen one, you have that same authority. You've been waiting for evidence, but heaven has been waiting for expression. When you declare what you know God promised, the atmosphere begins to shift. Chosen one. This is why the enemy tried to silence you. He attacked your confidence, your identity, your sense of worth, because he knows a chosen one who speaks with conviction becomes unstoppable. But today, heaven restores your voice. You are not meant to whisper your destiny, you are meant to declare it with authority. The power of prophetic speech is not in volume, it's in alignment. And when your heart and your tongue agree with heaven's will, angels are released to perform it. Your words become orders, your faith becomes fuel, and your destiny responds. So right now, heaven invites you into divine participation, not passive hope, but prophetic activation. As a sign of agreement, comment 555. That number represents grace, transformation, and divine change. It's heaven's reminder that the winds are shifting in your favor. When you type it, you're not just entering digits, you're opening a door. 555 is symbolic of transition, of leaving behind the old cycle and stepping into the rhythm of renewal. When you comment it, say in your heart, Lord, I align with what you've spoken. I receive the change you've ordained. Let that number become a prophetic echo of your faith. Heaven does not need proof, it needs participation. And this small act, done in sincerity, becomes a spiritual signature. Chosen one. Understand this declaration's move dimensions. Every time you speak life instead of fear, you're creating new pathways in both your mind and the spirit. Your words train your reality. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, you are a co-creator with heaven. Do you feel the stirring, that holy fire rising inside, urging you to speak life again? That's the Spirit awakening the authority within you. It's time to decree, not just desire, time to command, not merely hope. The moment you speak what God has already willed, creation responds in obedience. You've been silent long enough. The same God who brought you through wilderness now says, open your mouth and watch me fill it. When you declare blessings, they will follow. When you decree victory, it will manifest. Your words are not empty, they are arrows of light piercing through darkness. But speak carefully, for what you release carries power. Life and death flow through the same gate, the tongue. Guard it. Let your words build, not break. Let them call forth what heaven intends, not what fear imagines. Speak with reverence, but also with boldness, knowing that heaven backs every word aligned with truth. Chosen one. This is the hour to prophesy over yourself. Say it even when it feels awkward. Speak it when no one else believes it. Declare it when you feel least qualified. Because the authority within you is not earned, it's inherited. You are a royal priesthood, a vessel of divine decree. As you continue through this week, practice speaking in faith. Instead of saying, I'm waiting for change, begin to say, change is already here. Instead of saying, I hope I make it, declare, I am sustained by grace. The shift begins not in the world around you, but in the words within you. When Friday arrives, let your declaration meet heaven's manifestation. Let the words you've spoken echo back as reality. You will see what you've been saying. You will hold what you've been declaring. Chosen one, never underestimate the sound of faith. It's louder than fear, stronger than silence, and powerful enough to rewrite your future. Speak because heaven is listening, and the earth is waiting to respond. Chosen one, there is a sacred unveiling taking place around you. As heaven prepares to manifest what has long been promised, the light surrounding your life grows brighter, and light always exposes what hides in the shadows. The season you're stepping into is not just about blessings appearing, but about truth being revealed. When divine light intensifies, pretenders cannot remain hidden. You may have already begun to sense it. People you once trusted now feel distant. Relationships that seemed unshakable are showing cracks. Don't panic. Exposure is not cruelty, it's clarity. God is revealing what was concealed, not to humiliate anyone, but to protect your destiny. The same light that illuminates your path will also reveal false ones walking beside you. In this moment of rising glory, heaven is cleansing your surroundings. You've prayed for favor, but favor demands filtration. God cannot allow what's counterfeit to cling to what's consecrated. That's why certain connections are fading quietly. Why some opportunities that looked promising are suddenly closing. You are not being punished. You are being purified. The increase of light always exposes both treasure and dust. When morning arrives, the horizon glows beautifully, but it also reveals what night tried to conceal. That's what's happening now. God is turning on the light in your story. The hidden motives, silent envy, quiet competition, all of it is surfacing so you can step into the next level unbound. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 16, verse 17. Declare, I urge you, brothers and sisters, to watch out for those who cause divisions and put obstacles in your way that are contrary to the teaching you have learned. Keep away from them. Chosen one. This is not a call to suspicion, it's a call to discernment. You are stepping into territory that requires sharper vision. Not everyone attached to you has the same spiritual assignment. Some were seasonal, some were lessons. Few are lifelong. Knowing the difference is wisdom, not hardness. The exposure of imposters can feel painful, especially when it involves people you love deeply. But what feels like loss is actually protection. If truth had not surfaced now, their presence could have sabotaged what God is releasing later. Heaven's mercy sometimes arrives disguised as disconnection. Chosen one. Remember how diamonds are refined. The more light they absorb, the more clearly their flaws appear under the jeweler's lamp. That doesn't diminish their value, it prepares them for placement. You are that diamond. The increased light of glory isn't to shame you or others, it's to polish what's genuine and remove what's false. In the coming days, you may notice subtle shifts. Certain conversations that once energized you will now drain you. Certain offers that once excited you will suddenly feel hollow. That is the Holy Spirit sharpening your discernment. Follow that peace, it will never mislead you. Sometimes heaven will expose not only others' motives but your own hidden fears and desires. Don't resist this self-revelation. Light reveals everything for healing, not condemnation. The same truth that protects you from deceit also frees you from denial. Let it do its work. There is a divine law in motion. Exposure always precedes elevation. God reveals before he releases. You cannot ascend with attachments meant to pull you backward. Some people were only meant to walk with you in the wilderness, not in the promised land. When the light shines, don't chase shadows trying to stay. Bless them, release them, and keep moving. Chosen one, purity of company preserves purity of calling. Heaven is ensuring that your circle mirrors your destiny, people who pray for you, not prey on you. Companions who celebrate your growth, not compete with it. And while the pruning feels lonely, it's the only way to ensure that your fruit will last. The days ahead will demand maturity. Resist the urge to expose what God himself is revealing. You don't need to defend yourself when truth is doing it for you. Let your peace be your proof. The one who stays silent while heaven speaks remains unshaken when storms come. Chosen one, do not fear what's being uncovered. Every revelation is realignment. Every unveiling clears your path. The light is not against you, it is for you. What falls away was never anchored in truth. What remains after the shaking is what can stand the weight of glory. You are about to walk lighter, freer, clearer than ever before. No more hidden enemies in your circle. No more confusion about who's for you. When the light settles, you will see clearly who came from God, who came for gain, and who came to grow with you. And once the exposure ends, what remains will be sacred, a circle ordained, a purpose purified, a heart protected. You will step into the next phase of your calling surrounded only by truth. Chosen one, there is a shift taking place, a holy expansion that cannot be contained by your past limits. The season of subtraction is closing, and now heaven is releasing the season of multiplication. You have been faithful with small things, patient in hidden places, steadfast when no one applauded. And now the principle of divine increase is being activated in your life. God never multiplies what has not first been broken. Just as the loaves and fish in the hands of Jesus multiplied only after being blessed and broken, so too has your breaking prepared you for abundance. The cracks in your heart have become the channels through which grace flows freely. Every fragment surrendered in faith is now being returned as overflow. Chosen one. Multiplication is not about numbers, it's about reach. Heaven expands what carries divine purpose. When your motive is pure and your heart remains humble, increase is not a risk, it's a reward. You are about to see what happens when obedience meets opportunity. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 9. Then the Lord your God will make you most prosperous in all the work of your hands and in the fruit of your womb, the young of your livestock and the crops of your land. The Lord will again delight in you and make you prosperous, just as He delighted in your ancestors. These ancient words are not mere history, they are prophecy breathing through time, landing now in your present. Prosperity in heaven's language means fruitfulness in purpose. You are stepping into a rhythm where what you touch will multiply, not because of luck, but because you are aligned with divine delight. Think of a tree, chosen one. For years it grows unseen beneath the soil, its roots deepening through dark, silent places. Then suddenly, it begins to rise, bearing fruit that blesses many. That is your story. Your roots of faith have grown deep enough. Now the branches of your influence will stretch far. Multiplication is not random, it follows a pattern of trust. God increases what He can trust. That is why your wilderness was necessary. It proved your integrity in scarcity so that you could handle abundance with reverence. You have learned to manage little with gratitude. Now heaven can entrust you with much. The kind of increase coming to you will not simply fill your hands, it will overflow into the lives of others. It will manifest in opportunities, connections, ideas, and spiritual authority. You will carry a magnetism not born from effort but from grace. People will seek your counsel, not because you advertise, but because they sense wisdom wrapped in peace. Chosen one. Multiplication is not always immediate. Sometimes it begins subtly, one conversation leading to another, one small door opening quietly. Don't despise humble beginnings, for they are the seeds of magnificent outcomes. Heaven's math defies human logic. It starts small to grow strong. You will notice this shift in your atmosphere. What once resisted you will begin to cooperate. Delays will turn into invitations. Where you once chased, you will now attract. The divine current that seems still will suddenly surge forward on carrying you with it. But remember, increase requires discipline. Not every open hand deserves what you carry. Wisdom must guide generosity, and stewardship must follow success. Multiplication without structure becomes chaos, and you are called to sustain, not squander, what heaven is giving. Chosen one. You are being trusted with resources that carry responsibility. God's multiplication is never meant for hoarding. It's for distribution. You are to become a conduit, one who channels abundance into impact. The overflow in your life will be the answer to someone else's prayer. Do not fear the scale of what's coming. Grace will grow with your growth. As your reach extends, so will your resilience. You are not expanding alone. Heaven is your infrastructure. Divine strategy will accompany every opportunity, and peace will govern every decision. This multiplication will also touch the intangible, your wisdom, your discernment, your creativity. The same spirit that multiplied oil in the widow's jar is about to multiply insight within your mind. Ideas will come like rivers and solutions will flow with ease. This is the creativity of heaven, a fruit of intimacy with the Creator. Chosen one, your days of scarcity are ending. The lessons you learned in lack will now guide you in plenty. You will never again fear loss, because you've discovered that the source was never the supply, it was always God. The supply changes, the source never does. Heaven's multiplication does not just add, it compounds. Every act of faith, every prayer, every seed sown, every kind word, all are returning multiplied. You will look around and realize, I am living in answered prayers I once whispered through tears. When that moment comes, stay anchored in humility. Remember where you came from, the nights that shaped you, the fire that refined you. Let gratitude be your guardrail and stewardship your song, because the same hands that receive blessing must remain open to give. Chosen one, prepare your spirit for increase. The smallness of yesterday cannot contain the abundance of tomorrow. Heaven is not just restoring, it's multiplying. You will overflow in wisdom, peace, provision, and purpose. And through your overflow, many will find faith again. Chosen one, the covenant that covers you is older than your breath. It was spoken before you were formed, sealed before your first heartbeat, and confirmed through every trial you've survived. You were not merely blessed, you were bound by divine promise. And now, as heaven fulfills its part, you are called to remember yours. Covenant means partnership. It's the divine handshake between heaven and earth. God's word joined with your willingness. It's not a contract of convenience. It's a bond of trust. And though life has changed, that covenant has never weakened. Every miracle, every protection, every unexpected provision you've received has flowed through that sacred agreement. You've lived through storms that could have drowned you, but mercy kept you afloat. You've walked through fire that should have burned you, but grace became your shield. Those weren't coincidences, they were reminders that heaven honors its promises, even when you doubt yours. Scripture says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 10, "Though mountains shake and hills be removed, my unfailing love for you will not shake, nor my covenant fail." But covenants thrive through communication. Every time you pray, every time you worship, every time you act in faith, you reaffirm that bond. Heaven leans closer to those who remain connected, not out of ritual, but out of relationship. You're not just part of a story, you are part of an ongoing dialogue between Creator and creation. Think of it like a lighthouse on a restless sea. Its beam doesn't move with the waves. It stays steady so the ships can find their way. That's what your covenant is. It's your light in the dark. When life shifts, when emotions falter, when storms rage, that covenant remains unshaken. Chosen one. Every time you listen to a word like this, heaven is calling you back into remembrance. Messages like these are not random. They are reminders that you are still chosen, still covered, still called. But remember, this isn't a one-way flow. Covenant requires participation. If this message speaks to your soul, respond in faith. Like it as a sign of agreement, not out of routine, but as a symbolic amen. When you do, you affirm, I receive this word. When you share it, you extend the covenant's reach, carrying light into the feeds and hearts of others who need it most. When you comment, you add your voice to a global chorus of faith. Write something simple, something that marks your moment of recognition, perhaps. I remember the covenant. Let it be a declaration that you're still standing in divine alignment. And if you feel led to give or donate, do it not from pressure, but from purpose. Your contribution, whether a seed of prayer or provision, is not lost, it's planted. It becomes the oil that keeps this flame burning, the wind that carries this voice further, the echo that reaches the next soul waiting for confirmation. When you give, you are saying to heaven, use me to sustain the sound of truth. Like rain returning to the ocean, every act of support finds its way back multiplied. You may not see its path, but you will feel its harvest. Somewhere, someone will find hope because you chose to keep the light alive. That is covenant in motion, heaven blessing through human hands. Chosen one. Think of how a tree shares its fruit. It doesn't decide who deserves it, it simply produces what it was designed to give. The birds eat, the weary rest in its shade, and the earth is nourished by what it releases. You are that tree. The covenant has made you fruitful, not for hoarding but for healing. As you walk deeper into this journey, stay connected. Subscribe to keep hearing the words that water your spirit. Let this channel of truth continue to remind you of your worth and your purpose. When you engage, you're not supporting a platform, you're participating in a movement. This isn't about numbers or fame, it's about nourishment. Souls are fed through stories, hearts are healed through hearing, and your faith becomes part of that restoration when you choose to engage. Chosen one. Covenant means continuity. Every act of alignment keeps the flow alive. When you bless, you are blessed. When you give, you grow. When you remember, heaven responds. So, as this message ends, let gratitude begin. Whisper a thank you to the one who never left your side. Look around and see how far grace has carried you. You are not a broken vessel, you are a kept promise. The covenant of peace rests upon you. The same God who began this good work will sustain it until completion. And every like, every share, every offering of love you pour into this space becomes part of that unfolding miracle. You are chosen, you are covered, you are covenant. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of fulfillment. The season you have prayed through, wept through, and waited for is now touching the horizon. The time of almost is ending. Heaven has begun unveiling what it prepared while you were still in the wilderness. Every unseen detail is converging, every delay now revealing its divine design. This is the moment when the invisible becomes visible, when prophecy turns into presence. What you have believed in faith, you will now witness in fact. But before that moment fully dawns, heaven wants your heart anchored not in excitement, but in reverence. For fulfillment is not just a blessing, it is holy ground. You've seen glimpses of the promise along the way, tiny confirmations that reminded you to keep going. But now, the full picture is emerging. What once felt fragmented will come together like pieces of a mosaic, each shard of pain forming beauty you couldn't perceive before. The masterpiece of your life is stepping out from behind the veil. Chosen one. Manifestation does not arrive with fanfare. It often enters softly, like dawn breaking after a long night. One morning you will wake, and what was once burden will feel like peace. What was once confusion will feel like clarity. You won't even notice the exact moment it changed, only that it has. The Word of God declares in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He enables me to tread heights. This is where you now stand on the heights of promise. The same terrain that once wounded you will now carry your victory. The mountains that intimidated you are becoming platforms of praise. God is not only fulfilling His word, He is elevating you to a vantage point where you can finally see what He was doing all along. Every no was a redirection. Every closed door was a compass, pointing you toward this moment. What once felt like divine silence was heaven busy behind the curtain, aligning circumstances, preparing people, and perfecting timing. Nothing was wasted, chosen one. When divine fulfillment arrives, it carries three unmistakable marks: peace, permanence, and purpose. Peace, the quiet knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Permanence, the assurance that this time it won't slip away. And purpose, the realization that this blessing is not just for comfort, but for calling. The enemy often attacks hardest right before fulfillment because he cannot undo God's promise. He can only try to distract your focus from it. That is why you must stay grounded in gratitude. Don't let familiarity breed forgetfulness. Remember every night you prayed for this. Remember every tear that watered the soil of this victory. Gratitude is the key that keeps the gate open. It turns a blessing into a continuous flow rather than a single event. When you give thanks, heaven expands the moment, stretching it from an instance into a lifestyle. You will soon notice a divine stillness replacing old anxiety. The internal storms will calm, and the noise of doubt will fade. You won't need to chase affirmation because peace itself will confirm the promise. Fulfillment has a sound. It's the silence after struggle, the exhale after endurance. Chosen one, be prepared for recognition. What was hidden will now be honored. The very people who overlooked you will witness the hand of God upon your life. Not as revenge, but as revelation. Through you, they will see what faithfulness produces, yet remain humble. The glory about to rest upon you is not yours to own, it is yours to reflect. You are the mirror, not the light. Stay positioned in humility, and the light will only grow brighter. This fulfillment is not just personal, it's generational. What you are receiving now will ripple forward, touching lives you will never meet. The patterns of struggle that once plagued your family line are being broken through your obedience. You are the hinge on which generations turn. Chosen one. Fulfillment doesn't mean the journey ends, it means the assignment shifts. What you receive now becomes the foundation for what others will build upon. Your testimony will serve as blueprint, your endurance as inspiration. Take a moment to look back. Not with regret, but with reverence. Remember the nights you nearly gave up, the mornings you had to force yourself to believe again. Every one of those moments was sacred training. Without them, you would not have the wisdom to steward what is now being placed in your hands. When the promise finally manifests fully, breathe deeply and rest in the assurance that heaven's timing was perfect. You were never late. You were being prepared for an exact hour. The promise did not come early because you needed the strength to sustain it. Now you carry that strength. You've become the person your prayers once asked for. The evidence of God's faithfulness is not only around you, it's within you. You have been transformed into living proof that waiting with faith is never in vain. Chosen one, the revelation is fulfilled. The clouds have cleared. The promise stands before you, radiant and real. And as the light of Friday dawns, heaven whispers, "It is done." Chosen one. When the promise has arrived and the light of fulfillment glows around you, something shifts deep within your soul. The chase ends. The striving quiets. What remains is awe, the still. trembling realization that God has done exactly what He said He would do. You stand in the afterglow of obedience, surrounded by evidence that every tear was necessary, every delay divine. Fulfillment feels different than you expected. It's not loud or dramatic. It's gentle, almost sacred, like standing in sunlight after years of storm. It carries a weight that humbles more than it excites. You begin to see that what you've received is not merely a blessing, it's a commission. Every answered prayer becomes an assignment, every miracle a message. You are not meant to hoard what heaven has given. You are meant to carry it forward. You have become a vessel of glory, a torchbearer for those still walking in darkness. Your testimony is now a map for others, a living proof that waiting, though painful, is never wasted. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That is what you have become, chosen one, a light that cannot be concealed. But light comes with responsibility. The brightness that now radiates from you draws attention, both divine and human. Some will be drawn to your flame for warmth, others will be drawn to extinguish it. You must learn to carry illumination without arrogance and influence without insecurity. Heaven did not anoint you to impress, it anointed you to impact. The blessing you now hold is meant to flow outward like a river, watering dry places, reviving weary souls. Where you once sought encouragement, you will now be encouragement. Where you once needed confirmation, you will now deliver it. The season of receiving has merged into the season of releasing. Chosen one. This is where the journey transforms from personal promise to divine purpose. The gift you've received carries weight, not to burden you, but to balance you. It keeps you anchored in humility, reminding you that glory and grace must coexist. You are no longer simply walking with God, you are walking for Him. You may feel a quiet fear rise within you. Can I sustain this? But remember, the same Spirit that led you through the wilderness will lead you through abundance. The oil that anointed you for survival now anoints you for stewardship. What you've been given, you will manage with wisdom, because the fire that shaped you also purified your hands. This moment, this afterglow is sacred. It's not the end of your story, but the beginning of legacy. You are now part of heaven's great continuation, the unfolding of promises that ripple far beyond your sight. Every act of faith from this point forward will plant seeds in generations yet unborn. Take a moment to feel the peace that surrounds you. The air itself feels lighter. The war inside your soul has ceased. You no longer need to prove your worth because grace has already proven it. You no longer need to beg for blessings because you have become one. The stillness around you is not emptiness, it's completion. Chosen one, this new chapter will not require striving but abiding. Stay close to the source that sustained you. Keep listening to the whisper that guided you when you could not see. The same God who brought you here will keep you here. You will find that rest is not idleness, it's worship in motion. The world around you may still tremble with chaos, but within you there is a still river, flowing with divine assurance. You are anchored in truth now, unmoved by noise, unshaken by doubt. The same storms that once frightened you will now recognize your authority. There will be moments when you look back and wonder how you survived. When you do, smile. That question is the testimony. You survived because grace refused to let you fail. You endured because purpose refused to let you die. You reached this place because heaven refused to let you settle. Chosen one, walk forward with quiet confidence. Don't rush to announce what God is doing. Let your peace speak. Let your consistency preach. The loudest declaration of victory is a life lived in gratitude. As you step beyond this chapter, remember what the journey taught you, that divine timing never disappoints, that surrender is stronger than control, and that those who trust, even when trembling, always triumph. You have been tested, tried, and proven. Heaven's seal is upon you. From this moment forward, walk as one who knows they are chosen not because of worth, but because of willingness. The fire within you will never go out. It has been sustained by eternity itself. The light upon you will not fade. It carries heaven's fingerprint. And as you continue on this path, know this truth: the story doesn't end here, it expands. The promise fulfilled becomes a promise extended. Others will rise because you endured. Hope will multiply because you believed. You are no longer just waiting for miracles, you are living as one. The afterglow is not the end, it's the beginning of divine legacy. And heaven watches smiling, because the chosen one has become the messenger. Chosen one. Take this moment to breathe in what heaven has done. You've walked through 17 gates of revelation, each one peeling away a layer of doubt, fear, and uncertainty until only truth remained. You have come full circle, from waiting to winning, from wilderness to wonder, from promise to presence. Now, your story stands as a lamp for others. Somewhere, another soul is standing where you once stood, tired, uncertain, praying for a sign. Let your journey become their confirmation. Let your light ignite theirs. That is how heaven multiplies hope through you. If this message has touched your spirit, let gratitude become action. Like this word not as a habit, but as a declaration that you have received it. When you share it, you become part of heaven's chain reaction, carrying light into timelines where despair still lingers. When you comment, you testify. Write something from your heart, perhaps. I receive this light, or I am still chosen. Those words echo further than you imagine. They turn reflection into remembrance. And finally, subscribe not to follow a voice, but to stay connected to the current of messages that remind you who you are. Every new word is a spark meant to keep your spirit burning bright. Chosen one. The season of hiding is over. The light within you is ready to reach others. Let this not be an ending, but a continuation, a living stream of faith that keeps flowing through acts of love, generosity, and truth. So stand tall, share freely, speak gently, and shine boldly. Heaven is proud of how far you've come. You've carried the fire faithfully. Now it's your turn to pass it on.